Hey everyone, ever feel like you're always trying to juggle work and life and everything else? Well, today we're going deep on this idea of finding your stand. We're going to be looking at this super interesting podcast called Where I Stand.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that one.
Yeah. Oh,
It's got a kinda unique approach.
totally. It's not like your typical self-help thing. It's these three hosts and they've got this fun,
Yeah,
kind of flirty energy. And
it's really engaging.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. They're like joking about sneaking in some flirtation at work just to make the day go by faster.
Mhm.
But then they bring on this expert guest they call Transcript the Truth, and things get real.
Yeah. He's great.
Yeah, he's all about like setting priorities and learning to say no so you don't get burned out.
He had this one point that really stuck with me. He compares saying no to, like, resisting a great sinful desire.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he was saying that sometimes the hardest no is to the things that we really want, but, like, deep down, we know they're not good for us,
Yeah.
you know?
That's so true. Have you ever felt that pull? Like something is tempting you to stray from what really matters?
Oh, all the time. I think it's that constant struggle, right? You
Yeah,
need to be self-aware enough to know what those sinful desires are for you, and then have the discipline to actually resist them.
absolutely. It's all about setting those boundaries.
Yeah.
So speaking of boundaries, the podcast actually takes this interesting turn. The hosts start joking about using the stare and gaze as a flirtation tactic.
I remember that part.
Yeah, it's all in good fun. But then their guest jumps in with this advice about balancing charm with wisdom.
Oh, yeah, he was saying that true confidence isn't just about being charming, it's also about having substance and intelligence. Like, you can be playful and charismatic, but you gotta have something meaningful behind it, too.
Exactly. And then he drops this line, keep going until you lose your mind. Crazy intelligence gives birth to creativity. I mean,
That's a good one?
I love it,
All
right?
right.
What if we all embraced unconventional thinking a little more, pushed our boundaries a bit?
It makes you think, what does crazy intelligence even look like in our own lives?
Hmm.
Are we playing it too safe? Are there areas where we could experiment more?
That's what I was thinking. Like maybe I need to loosen my grip and let some of that crazy intelligence out.
Yeah.
What about you? Any thoughts?
Well, I think it's about finding that balance, right? Between discipline and freedom structure and spontaneity. That seems to be the big takeaway from this whole podcast. It's all about finding that balance in every aspect of your life.
And I think that's a perfect segue into
Yeah.
the next part of our deep dive. We're going to be exploring.
How to find that balance.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. How to find that balance and make it work for you. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It's not just work-life balance either. It's like this idea of crazy intelligence can apply to, like, how we deal with challenges in general.
Oh, totally. And speaking of challenges, I love that part where their guest says, be hard as the rock that stands firm in times of downfall.
Yeah. It's powerful imagery, right? Like, even when everything around you is falling apart.
It's inspiring. It's like, I know I've definitely had those moments where I feel lost or unsure of myself. And this idea of being hard as a rock, it's like a reminder that even when I don't have all the answers, I can still like stand firm in my values and who I am.
That's where that idea of finding your stand really comes in. It's about knowing what your values are, what you're willing to fight for, and what you absolutely will not compromise on.
So it goes beyond just balance then. It's
Right.
like having this inner compass to guide you when things get tough.
Exactly. And let's be real. Life throws some curveballs. People will disappoint you. You'll make mistakes. Things won't always go according to plan.
That's where resilience comes in though, right? Bouncing back from setbacks,
Yeah.
learning from your experiences, having the strength to keep moving forward.
Exactly. And one thing the Where I Stand hosts talk about is you don't have to go through it alone.
Oh yeah, they're big on community and connection.
They really believe that surrounding yourself with supportive people, people who challenge you and make you laugh, that makes a huge difference.
It's so important to have those people you can lean on, share your struggles with, celebrate your wins with.
It's like this powerful combo, right? Personal strength-wise choices, meaningful connections, all
Yeah.
those things help us find our stand and navigate life's ups and downs.
It's a journey for sure.
Ah.
And it's ongoing when you say like we're always evolving, learning, adapting.
Definitely. And that means our stand might shift and change over time, too. What felt right a year ago might feel different today.
And that's okay. There's beauty in that constant evolution. It's not about finding one definitive answer. It's about embracing the journey of self-discovery and growth.
Love that. And it brings us back to that playful energy of the Where I Stand podcast. It's a reminder that life can be serious, but we can still approach it with curiosity and humor.
And charm. Don't forget the charm. That's what makes this podcast so refreshing.
Yeah.
It's okay to not have all the answers. It's okay to laugh at ourselves. It's okay to just enjoy the ride.
Absolutely. So we've covered a lot today. From setting priorities to embracing crazy intelligence to standing firm when things get tough. What stands out to you?
I think the biggest takeaway for me is that finding your stand is a journey of self-discovery. And we can approach it with seriousness, but also with a playful spirit.
That's a great way to put it. It's unique to each of us. There's no one-size-fits-all answer.
And that's what makes it so empowering. We get to choose what matters to us, where we want to stand, how we want to show up in the world.
Beautifully said. And that leads us to the big question this whole deep dive has brought up. What does standing your ground mean to you right now?
Where do you want to be like that rock?
Yeah.
Solid, unwavering. And where maybe do you need to loosen your grip a bit, to find that balance?
It really is something to think about. We've talked about finding balance, setting boundaries, using your charm and smarts, and even tapping into that crazy intelligence. But like at the end of the day, it's your journey. It's personal.
Yeah, it's about figuring out what really matters to you. And then having the guts to live a life that shows those values, even when it's hard.
And it's knowing that what you stand for might change. As you grow and learn, what felt so important a year ago might feel different now. And that's totally okay.
Right. So as you go about your week, think about that. Where do you stand? What are your non-negotiables? And what could you maybe let go of to make space for what truly matters?
It's a journey we're all on together, figuring ourselves out.
Well said. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Where I Stand. We'll see you next time for another awesome exploration.